Hello students, welcome to the History of Indian English Literature. In the last period, we had a great discussion about the fiction before independence. Today we will be focusing on the fiction during Gandhian era. Before we studied poetry, now we are studying the fiction. That is the first part during the Gandhian era. So, as already noted, the Indian English novel of this period was deeply influenced by epoch-making political, social and idealist phenomenon caused by the Gandhian movement. The fiction of K.S. Venkataramani, chronologically one of the earliest novelists of the period. It is a copybook example of this. His first novel, Murugan the Tiller, contrast the careers of two South Indian friends, Kedari, a flashy fatalist, finally ruined by his own, and Ramu, an introvert. So, Murugan the Tiller, with its one-dimensional character, is more of a tract than a novel. As we are seeing here, Venkatramani had a penchant for writing from an early period of his life. At the age of 16, he gave an eloquent speech protesting the partition of the Bengal, and you can look at the works that he has written. Some of his famous works were Paper Boats, On the Sand Dunes, Murugan the Tiller, Renaissance India, Kandan the Patriot, Danjatandran and other stories. So you are here noticing that Kandan the Patriot is a novel of the new India in making, which has been set against the background of the civil disobedience movement of the 1930s. The novel tells the story of Kandan, an Oxford-educated Indian youth who resigns from the Indian civil service to plunge into the freedom struggle and finally succumbs to a police bullet. So Venkatramani's story is far more contemporary than his fictional technique. His hero has a prophetic dream before he dies and makes a long speech of patriotic exhortation on his deathbed. So we have the next writer, ASP Iyer. So Iyer has been a great dramatist and also a novelist. He was a member of the Indian Civil Service and could hardly write a Gandhian novel with impunity. His clever solution was to go back to ancient Indian history, and that this was a deliberate strategy is indicated by a remark in his introduction of his second novel, Three Men of Destiny. As you are seeing here, he has written about the three men of destiny. These three men were the Alexander the Great, Chandragupta Maurya and Chanakya. The play contained the following list of many of the characters like 145 men and 18 women characters. So the revision of the above large novel was split into two parts as the legends Thunder Past and Chanakya and Chandragupta. So you are seeing that Iyer's first novel was Baladitya, which has been set in the 5th century India and narrates the story of a defeat of the invading Huns by Baladitya, the king of Magadha, and Yashodharman, the king of Mahakosala. It is a sprawling chronicle with about 75 characters, and Iyer's penchant for social reform is also revealed in his play. So next we have another interesting writer, that is Mulk Raj Anand. So these three great persons, Mulk Raj Anand, R.K. Narayan and Raja Rao, has built up the Indian writing in English, that is particularly they are devoted to the fiction part. Mulk Raj Anand, he is known for his great writings and an Indian writer in English and notable for his depiction of the lives of the poorer caste in traditional Indian society. And you see that he has published, he is the eldest of the three, and there has been the most prolific, he is born in Peshawar, a Hindu coppersmith family. Anand has narrated the story of his upbringing in autobiography Apology for Heroism. Then, Anand's fiction has been shaped by what he himself calls the double burden of On My Shoulders, the Alps of the European tradition and Himalayas of the Indian past. And you can see he is known for his one of the best novel, The Untouchable, which describes an eventful day in the life of Baka. Baka is the protagonist here. He is the hero of the particular story, Untouchable. Throughout the novel, you see how this Baka has been ill-treated by the upper caste people. He is a young sweeper from the outcast colony, a North Indian cantonment town. This particular day brings him his daily torments and more, but in the end, it also suggests three alternative solutions to his problem. A missionary tries to persuade him to embrace Christianity. He listens to Gandhiji, who advocates social reforms. So, we have the two chronicles of Mulk Raj Anand. Then we have Coolie, the two leaves and a bird. And Anand turns a lot of another class of underprivileged. The range and the scope of his fiction have now widened and his canvas explained, and there is also orchestration of the themes which are barely hinted at in The Untouchable. Coolie is a pathetic odyssey of Munu, an orphan village boy from the Kangra hills who sets out in search of a livelihood. His several roles, including those of domestic servant, a coolie, a factory worker, a rickshaw puller, take him to various places from Bombay to Simla. You have Two Leaves and a Bird, one of the famous novel. This novel has better points. The local here is a tea plantation is Assam, to which Gangu, a poor Punjabi peasant, allured by fabulous promises, compelled to work in unhygienic conditions and starved. He is shot dead by the British officer. You have luckier Punjabi peasant is a protagonist in one of the novel, The Village. It's the ambitious trilogy, The Village, Across the Backwaters, The Sword and the Sickle. The first novel in the series offers a realistic picture of the life in the typical Punjab village, that's The Village, in the early 20th century, seen through the eyes of young Lal Singh, who is an insider turned outsider. Yes, he is a rebel against all the village mores, which he finally escapes by running away. Across the Black Waters, which shows Lal Singh joining the army, fighting the Flanders in the First World War, is perhaps only the major war novel in Indian English literature. All quiet on the Western Front and the red badge of the courage. So it has the same open-eyed honesty and deep comparison. The Sword and the Sickle is an extremely confused book. These are the words we are focusing on. The Sword and the Sickle is an extremely confused book. It shows Lal Singh's returning home from a German prison. Then talks about communist and ending up in a prison again. In his picture of both communism and Gandhism, Anand resorts to cheap irony. So, ironical outlook has been also depicted here. The big heart, on the other hand, is undoubtedly one of the Anand's better effort, though marred at the end of the compulsive preaching. So Ananta, the young coppersmith, called Big Heart, owing to his generosity, aggressively champions the machine and the modernity in the traditional society. So you have the Big Heart's Anand's last novel before independence. So it has been one of the last novel before the independence. Then he returned to his vision, the old woman in the cow. The cow is Gauri, a simple peasant girl, forsaken by husband and actually sold to a rich merchant by her mother. Then you see the road, it is a rehearse of untouchable theme again. Then there is a death of a hero, very interesting novel. It's a short novel on a Kashmiri freedom fighter. It's a Kashmiri freedom fighter. Again reveals how Anand resorts to mere conventionalities. Then you have Seven Summers, Morning Face, which has got an Sahitya Academy Award, Confession of a Lover. Then you have many others like Confessions of a Lover, which gives different ideas. You are looking at the list here, the list of Mulk Raj Anand's novels, Untouchable, Coolie, then Two Leaves and the Bird, The Village, Across the Black Waters, The Sold, the Sold and the Sickle, The Big Heart, The Lost Child, Seven Members, The Mayor, The Private Life of an Indian Prince, The Old Woman and the Cow and the Road. So I think even we have the some other interesting things to be we are going to explain them in the next class. So we have up till Mulk Raj Anand. Then in the next class we'll be focusing on R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao and many other writers. Okay, thank you students. We'll meet in the next class.